In this video, I'm going to talk about the human energy system and its connection to your physical body. It's a huge subject, but I'm going to try to tackle it in the smallest amount of time possible to kind of get across to you how incredibly important the human energy system is. And I'll tell you a little bit about the work that I've been doing over the years with the human energy system to help people get well, to help them heal their bodies, to help them live healthy and happy lives. I'm Dr. Meg Haworth, and I am a transpersonal psychologist. I'm a holistic nutritional chef, and I help people heal themselves using food and the power of the mind and heart, and specifically with my whole person integration technique, which is designed to help the human energy system heal and evolve and grow, which then makes the physical body heal too. So the human energy system, a lot of people think that it's the chakra system and that's it. And the chakra system is one of the systems that is a part of understanding. It's probably one of the biggest parts of understanding the human energy system. But now there's this huge body of work around the human energy system. And there's all these other systems that you can overlay over the energy system, the chakra system, and how that relates to the body. And just really briefly, the chakra system and the energy system start with the root chakra, first center of the human energy system, which begins at the base of the spine. And we go up to the top of the head. There's 7 major centers of the human energy system, but there are more than that. There's the 8th center, which is the transpersonal point, which is a lot of what I work with, is consciousness and the expansion of consciousness in our physical bodies and understanding ourselves as beings that are much greater than we can possibly imagine. And so the human energy system and the physical body are intimately tied. This is the best book. I love this book, Anatomy of the Spirit. I read it like 25 years ago when I was trying to heal myself. I was trying to heal myself of over a dozen illnesses that I had in my own body, but I also had a lot of anxiety and fear and sadness and shame and grief and pain. So much emotional pain from having had physical, sexual, and emotional abuse as a child. I drowned as a child. Major trauma really influenced my life in a lot of ways. So I was going through this whole process of trying to heal the physical stuff because, like most people, the physical stuff was, that's what we do. Here, take your pill and you'll feel better. Here, let's get this surgery and we'll make you better. But the physical part is only one part of healing. And to me, now that I understand the human energy system and I work with that part of the system or that part of your holistic system, I see that that is probably the most important system. And it's the one that's the most neglected. So like I said, the chakra system is one of the systems used, but Carolyn Mace, when she wrote this book, she also used the Kabbalah tree of life and the 7 Sephirot. There's the 7 days of the week and the 7 days of creation. There's the energy system that's also understood through the meridian system of the body that's used in Oriental medicine, and that's also used in acupuncture, which of course is one of the forms of Oriental medicine, where they clear the energy system through the meridian system of the body that is connected to the organ systems of the body. So you're starting to see the connection between the human energy system and the body. So our bodies are indelibly linked with the human energy system. We can't separate them. And what I see over and over again as a transpersonal psychologist, and I've worked with hundreds of people over the last 20 years in working with their energy systems. I've done work as an energy worker where I worked with the human energy system in that way. So I would have my clients would lay on a table, a massage table, and I would work with their energy field. So I was trained in that. And then I used my intuition to help them better their lives. I still do that. I don't do it in the same way anymore. I do it through my whole person integration technique. But what I see is with the energy system, So for instance, let's look at the fifth center of the human energy system. It's one of my favorite ones to really talk about and to get people connected with, because this is your center of communication and self-expression. So it's your specific self-expression, and this is really critical to you. And what I see over and over and over again in our culture is people pushing down your own self-expression. You're pushing down your own desires, your own talents, your skills, your abilities, and not expressing them in the world because you've been told you need to be this way. You're not going to make any money if you do that artwork that is in your heart and soul to do, or if you write your poetry. And that's a whole other talk about purpose and meaning and all of that. But so what I see is when people have issues with their self-expression and their communication, their centers can be drained to the point where their biology becomes drained because they're not honoring their authentic selves. They may be people who basically you feel like you're lying all the time, or you're living a lie. Is a really hard place to live in. And so you may end up with the issues that can happen with this part of the body. So you can have throat issues, where you're constantly clearing your throat. You lose your voice often. That's one way it can show up. Thyroid issues, frequent sore throats, frequent throat infections. I was one who had that. I had throat infections like several times a year. And there were a lot of things that contributed to that. There was my diet, there was my environment, but there was also a tremendous repression of who I was. And I couldn't really put that out into the world because I'm this highly intuitive, sensitive, empathic person. And when you're highly intuitive and you grow up in a household that's very scientific and analytical, then it's not as easy to express yourself in that way. So I found other ways, like through my play, to express myself the best I could. But I came into this world to teach and to heal. And so I use my center of self-expression all the time for my teachings, my writings, and my healings. And so this is just an example for you to start thinking about your own life and your own body, and the body being a metaphor for your own experience. What if, you have a lot of stomach problems, for instance, and this is the third center of the human energy system, is your stomach. That's your center of personal power. So you may be giving your power over to another person in your life. You may be giving it over to an organization, to a societal structure, to something that drains your power. It can be a relationship that's really difficult for you to deal with. But you can learn to manage your energy system in a whole different way, and you do that through your emotions, because there's nothing more draining to your energy system than your emotional life, your emotional reactions. So I'm talking about your negative emotional reactions. I'm talking about the beliefs that get lodged in your body through difficult experiences that you go through, traumatic events, or long-standing emotional patterns. And that can be something that your parent just reinforced over and over and over again. Like a parent who there was just no way to get it right. You were damned if you did, you were damned if you didn't, and that can drain your center of personal power. But it could be also, with you, it may not be your center of personal power that's being drained by that. It could be your sixth center, which is your power of intuition, and that may be really blocked off because you're in your head all the time overthinking things. Maybe you've got headaches from it. So this is one of the things that's really fascinating to me, is that I've worked with so many people with the same traumas. So for instance, people with sexual abuse in their history, and I've had it in my own history, so I know what it's like to go through this. So I've worked with people with, say, sexual abuse traumas, like I was saying, and they will have a whole different way. Everybody has a different way of compartmentalizing their experience, and their body will reflect it and hold on to it in some way, shape, or form. And so you may have a persistent symptom, for instance, that's connected to a past experience. It could be connected to an ancestral past experience. And if you haven't seen my video on ancestral healing and ancestral experiences and are we holding them, then you should go watch that one. everybody does it differently is really the point that I was just trying to make. The human energy system is complex, but it's the only thing you cannot live without. You can live without water. You can live without food for a long period of time. Eventually, you're going to have to start eating again and drinking some water again. But power of the mind can allow you to not have to do that for a long period of time. But there's only one thing you cannot live without, and that's your energy system. It is what you come into this world with, and it's what you leave this world with. It is the most important part of you. And if you are neglecting that part of you simply because you didn't even know that you could care for it, that you could evolve it, you could make it better, and you could heal it, you heal it through the releasing of the emotional energies that you're holding on to so that you create a different emotional reaction. You're not attached to triggers like you used to be attached to them. And this is what my technique, whole person integration technique, was designed to help people do, is to help them to release the emotional energy, the thoughts, the feelings, the beliefs that get stuck in the body and in the energy field. Once they release that, though, there's also a replacement factor, because everybody who comes to me, they'll say pretty much the same thing. I just want to feel peace. I want to feel love. I want to feel loved. I want to feel kindness. I want to feel compassion. I want access to those things. And we all have access to those things. All of us have these beautiful qualities that we possess, and that we see in other people. If we see it in somebody else, it's also existing in us, because they're serving as the mirror for us to see ourselves. And it's not just in the negative that experience occurs, that people show up as a mirror. It's also in the positive. And so it's about shifting that energy so that you embody the positive forces, the loving, kindness, caring, compassion, the beautiful parts of just being a person in a body with your human energy system. A lot of people refer to, just like Carolyn Mace, I mean, she's talking about the anatomy of the spirit. And the human energy system is your spirit. And I know that if you have religious wounds, that it may be hard to hear that, You're just like, I don't believe that stuff. That's fine. Whether you believe it or you don't believe it, you do have an energy system. And if you want to learn more about it, you can head over to my website at meghaworth.com. I work with people all over the world using my whole person integration technique, and I certify coaches, therapists, healers, doctors, nurses, entrepreneurs, highly sensitive, highly intuitive, highly empathic, people who give care to others, who feel like they might be drained at the end of their sessions or their times with their clients or patients, and who would like to learn how to manage their own energy system through developing their intuition, because your intuition and your energy system are also wrapped up, and then also through certifying them in this technique that helps them to remove the emotional blocks or release the emotional blocks that are in the way of them accessing their intuitive insight. So I would love to help you if you're interested. And if you are, you can just book a free call with me. The links are below in the description. And if you like what you see here and you want to see more on my channel, please go for it. But also please like this video, subscribe to my channel. Also ring that bell to get notifications of future videos. And thank you so much for listening to this information. If you want to go more in depth into the human energy system, I do that in my course, Evolving Intuition, Building Self-Trust for Life. Go really in depth into the energy system, and I would love to help you with that too. So I hope this information has helped you get well now. Thank you so much for watching, and have an amazing day.